Hi everyone, John Marshall, the DrillMaster. This is the Chaminade Guard. So, butt slams are really well controlled. I had to say that at the beginning. That really worked well. Many teams just think a butt slam is a butt slam and just beat the daylights out of the rifle. No, you've got to control it. It has to be on the heel of the butt, like you see here. Nice. Well done on that toss. Good. Slight initiation problem there on the overhead toss. So let me go back here. That worked really well. Like that too. There. So you can see the initiation is you're going from shoulder, bringing the rifle out, and then tossing up. So the initiation was probably not the same as all the others. You can see where I wish the umbrella wasn't there. I understand why you're using it, but so you can see the very close similarity with the other weapons here. But this one is out of whack, most likely because of for the initiation, the rifle came forward and then either lowered and launched too much, or yeah, that has to be it. It's got to be a launch and not necessarily a rotation thing. So it's slightly behind the rotation. You can see here with this rifle being almost straight up and down with almost all the rest of the rifles angled forward. So there's too much pressure for the rifle being pushed up, and not enough pressure allowing it to rock forward just a bit and then create that rotation. So just that didn't work as well as it could have, that first step. Now watch here. Let me take it forward. Oh, way too much. All right, so the foot is brought out, but the body weight, the center of balance, left foot is out, center of balance is still on the right heel. When, as you bring the left foot out, you should at the same time bring your body weight forward so that it's centered over the right foot. When it's centered over the right foot, then you push down more with the right heel and it brings your whole body forward. Coming just from the body weight being only on the right heel is a little more difficult, as we can see here, because of the timing, the phasing and the timing of the left foot strike, and also a little bit of awkwardness in the body moving forward here. So just great tempo change. Oh, and commander in the middle. Well done. So what I was looking for was the butt slams back here, and all of you standing butt slam, stopped the rifle, and then slowly lowered it. Really nicely done. That was excellent. All very good timing. Really well layered. Not only the layers front to back, but also to the side as well, using the windows. And using the windows ever so slightly there, it works. There is it looks like a bit of an arc here with each of the team members, but that's fine if you want that arc in there. Now you can see here, this is a straight line. So look at the helmets, straight line here, but you see here, then there's an arc. Obviously straight line here, but then he would have to be kneeling over here. So it's a spacing. Okay, all right. So it's his spacing issue right here. So you can see the spacing between the commander and the squad leader, and then him and the commander is much too big. So he really should be about here to have that straighter line. And then what's going on with... So spacing looks to be similar. Actually, yeah, spacing looks to be right on with first squad. Third squad spacing, I'm trying to figure out why there would be an arc there and not that straight line. Third looks to be the third squad leader. And I don't know whether that's third squad leader or not, immaterial. You have a 9-man block, so it's, you face wherever, whenever, however, and it's not a problem. But for lack of a better definition, third squad leader there just seems to be a bit too close. So anyway, it's a spacing issue there. And so is that a big deal? In the grand scheme of things, no. But you want the most effective stance. You want the most effective formation that you can provide for your audience, no matter who it is, even if it's just one judge or hundreds of people. You want that effectiveness at the highest level possible throughout your routine. So you can see the pickup there was not as well timed as it could be. Watch here. See how third is leaving, third rank, leaving him behind, but in line with commander, looks to be in line with first and second squad leaders, look to be in line. And then see how he's still trailing here, but now in third rank you've got first and third elements aligned. They're aligned, still trailing. And first looks to be aligned, but there's a spacing issue between elements. Squads. So between first and second, some good spacing. You started out with that larger spacing, but then between second and third, you can see here it's much smaller and noticeably smaller. Mistakes stink. So here, I love that move. I really do. I think that's just fantastic. All right, come on. So I want to go back to here. So there, right here. Notice how first is a slightly smaller step, allowing second to catch up, but then third, that's how many steps to catch up there was it? 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's 12 steps to get every steps. During that 12 steps, what's going on? There. Here now, about 8 to 10 steps is marching at right shoulder. Then you do something. And granted, you moved off in a stylized kind of counter column-ish movement, going one way, one direction, and then moving off in another direction at an angle, passing through each other. And I mean, it really worked well. But then there's this. And so you you filled every moment so far, except that one. I do like that. It's really interesting. Great rotation on the rifles. The stop motion worked well, but then watch here. There. Something happened here. Ah, okay. So instead of second, I'll say second squad leader, instead of, and it's this cadet right here. So instead of him executing a flanking movement, stepping forward, and then another flanking movement, essentially what he did was he stepped out, he flanked and stepped over this way, coming out of alignment instead of this way, and then stepped over. So he was here and then here, and already maybe 10 or 12 inches ahead, as you can see right here, of the other two squad leaders. So you have to, I've explained end step before in many of my videos, but the end step for a flanking movement, let's say right flank, march. This is the end step. You have to have your spacing, your walking base, and what we can call a marching base in between both of your feet. It's the normal separation of your feet. It's based on your hips and the way you walk, really. So you have that walking base. So, but you also have the distance between heels, and then that flank needs to recreate the walking base and also the distance. Whatever distance you choose for this is fine. That's not a problem. But it has to be consistent throughout the team, and you have to apply it then consistently throughout the team. So recovery is at times delayed. So see the butt slams here. Oh, of course I'm not going to see how that we'll call him second squad leader. See how the rifle is angled backwards, but these are straight up and down? He hit the toe of the butt and it ricocheted back. So, I mean, it stuck out like a sore thumb. I noticed it immediately, the lack of uniformity there of technique. Nice tosses. Those rotations were just great. Really worked well. Nicely aligned there. Well done. The impact of the precision just comes through so much better than when you have a little mistake here or a little mistake there. So slight timing issue though with some of the rotations, and then also an initiation issue right here. Watch his knees and see how he lifts up on his toes to get that toss in there. So again, uniformity of technique has to be the same all across, because these little tiny changes just stick out here and stick out there, and they don't. For just as I was talking just a few seconds ago, that having that precision in every single moment just really brings the performance to a whole nother level of life, really, as you watch it. Love the crosses at the. But see, look at the lack of alignment here, and that started with the first step. So here we have different technique. Slightly different technique. See how he brought his knee way up, flapped that foot out, and then came down. Is that what you want? If so, then awesome. If not, then what is the technique you want? And then see, the recovery is it's non-existent there, so you don't have the alignment necessary, and it would have been so much more effective having them stop right there and be in line so that they could march backwards, and then great job. That comes across well. Getting the commander out of the way for the ripple line, really appreciate it. Although this big gap here doesn't work well. So work on something like this, a ripple of spins, that's fine. It's really difficult to tell the timing, but there, the timing is just screaming out with the butt slams. So what you can do. Now, those two at the very beginning of that the last toss where they caught and brought the rifle under the arm, these two at the beginning here did it at the same time. So, an adjustment there definitely needs to be made of just a slight timing later. Timing either works with a metronome, going either slowly, medium tempo, or even fairly quickly. But then when you can cross the threshold where a metronome just doesn't work, and you have to rely on the visual cues coming from either direction. So the butt slam, I would go to a metronome first, and try that at a moderate tempo. Let's say, maybe 95, even 100 beats per minute, and just boom, 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 and so that the team can get a sense of what the tempo needs to be, and then you can increase it, or even start out at a 110 and work it up to even 130. So if you want it then faster, you're going to have to rely on those visual cues. So here you're setting up to perform. You're getting back into your block. You're not performing into your block. You've got the long line, the company front there. That's great. But then as you move, you're just marching. Everybody can march, whether at port arms, right shoulder, whatever. But you're not necessarily performing into that next formation, where then you start performing. So just because you're traveling into that block doesn't necessarily mean that you cannot perform. I want to go back to here. So did you see the hand right there? Watch. So butt slam, bring the hand back out. Uniformity of technique. So why did you you're forming the cordon nice and wide here. You come in 2 steps, and then you take a step back. Why? Why sidestep in 2 steps just to take a step back? It's not necessarily a question that really needs an answer. It's just, is that an effective use? Alignment is crucial here. And definitely so is timing, since you're in such a nice line there. Boy, Judge, do you even know what you're doing? Just standing there? Good recovery. That was really well done. Drops can happen. An immediate recovery is really good. Nice. That was interesting. Why so separated? And then again, see, and then you're marching it port, then you reform, so you're not performing to the final formation to perform out. So you're not performing here necessarily. Of course, every portion of the performance is performing. It's just that there's not really anything happening here, and that's it. So this part, and then the other part where you're marching it at right shoulder, and from that angle there, there's an expectation here that I have, knowing the name Chaminade Guard, Central Catholic. Okay, seen you before, judged you before, a couple times over the years as well, and so my expectation is, all right, you're gonna let everybody have it, and in a good way, and that's awesome, that's fantastic. But the two places, this one and then the right shoulder part, really doesn't fit with the rest of the performance. And here, what I'm figuring out here is from here. Let me. I'll tell you what. Let me pause. You don't have to watch me count. So hold on. I'll be right back. Okay, 20 steps, 20 counts really, to get to this position. 20 counts of doing nothing but marching to this position. So that's 3 times now. You're not really doing anything except marching to. You're setting up for a portion of the performance, and then you're the next part after this. You're setting up for the final part of the performance. But the setup is supposed to be part of the performance. You're supposed to be more or less entertaining your audience and creating an effective moment in your performance. So why take 20 counts? I won't say necessarily steps, but 20 counts. Of course, these two at the end have to take a long. They take a long time to get there with the commander. Why take these 20 counts? That was well timed with the about face there. That was kind of funny. And then, the swing forward and back, and I don't know. Are you building up kind of a wow factor here? I think it works better if you just chuck the rifle, just do your exchange and do it. Although I think really you can condense this to 8 counts, honestly, of getting to where you need to go, and it would essentially mean that you rearrange the movement to get to from here. So you'd have the front 2 and then the back 3 on each side. The front 2 with the commander, then the back 3, and you'd get there in 8 counts, and it would be a lot faster, a little more entertaining, and you could perform in those 8 counts. You can make up an 8 count rifle sequence easily. Everyone is well versed in rifle work here, and you're doing very well on the execution side of things. So my suggestion, I like, it's kind of like a puzzle, and I like to figure those things out. So you could do that. Not saying this is wrong, just saying there is a more effective use of your moments here. the last couple of moments and that one moment moving from the angle, or moving into that angle, by the way. So, all right. 30 minutes. Yeah, I apologize. A 7.5-minute performance, and I take 30 minutes to talk about it. All right. If you're still with me, thanks for watching. Bye.